Hey guys, and welcome to the pilot episode of Shacknews Showcase. My name is Joe. Andrew told me to think of a joke to introduce myself. I couldn't really think of anything.
And I'm Andrew, the third best league player in the cardboard division. In Shacknews Showcase, we'll be looking at exclusive content, interviews, and analysis on all of your favorite video games and dragons.
Right, this week we'll be delving into... Wait, what?
What?
Dragons?
Yeah, I figure we can start the pilot episode with my dissertation on how Puff the Magic Dragon inspired the chase scene from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Andrew, we already talked about this. Unless it's video gaming related, it's not on the show.
But
unless a dragon is in the video game, it's not. We're not doing it.
Fine. No dragons.
I mean, unless the dragon is in a video game, then we could... You know what? Forget it. This week we'll be getting a little nostalgic.
We'll be diving into a beautiful but eerie world that was inspired by the classic eras of gaming, Axiom Verge.
We have recently been seeing a lot of games paying tribute to the 8-bit and 16-bit era, with gameplay, atmosphere, and visuals. And Axiom Verge is no different. The game takes a big scoop of Metroid, a sprinkle of Contra, a smidgen of Bionic Commando, and mixes it all together in a big bowl of high sci-fi. The premise of the game is simple enough. You play as a scientist named Trace. While you're working in your lab on some experiment, an explosion happens and you're sent to an alien world where practically everything wants to kill you. Now you must run, jump, and explore your way through this treacherous world in order to get out in one piece. At a glance, the game plays as a standard Metroidvania, a big world that is broken up in multiple sections where many of them can only be accessed with certain weapons or items. And Trace has a plethora of weapons to go through. This is where Axiom Verge diverges from the norm. That was an unintentional pun, son of a... Many of the weapons found in the game are completely optional, so there's a good chance that you might not even see all of them in your playthrough. The environments in this game are absolutely stunning and eerie at the same time. You really do feel like you just stepped on an alien world. And of course, there are the bosses, which have that classic Nintendo-style difficulty, and most of them seem to have come out of a wet dream by Cronenberg. And don't worry, there are plenty of save points, especially near bosses. But the thing that really drew me to this game was the fact that it was created by one guy. Developer Tom Happ, who worked on End of Nations and NFL Streets, made this in 5 years all by himself. He created the art, he created the music, he created everything by himself. You can easily see that this game was meticulously built by one voice. And with Axiom Verge, Tom Happ was the only voice. It's kind of like we're playing inside of his mind, which I find to be absolutely incredible.
I gotta say, it's great seeing old classic gameplay come back in a time where we're obsessed with the latest technology.
That's the best part. You can take the new technology and play the old technology. Like, you can play arcade games in the Oculus Rift.
So you can play a game while you're in a game.
I made a video about it.
This isn't an Inception joke, is it?
Will you watch my freaking video already?
It'd be great if the Rift thing had a DS and you can play WarioWare, do it yourself. So
I
you can
swear
play
to God, I will...
Here we are. We're in a virtual reality arcade. Pretty dope, pretty awesome, really realistic. But let me just give you a tour. We got a bunch of arcade cabinets with some awesome games. So we got Frogger, Q*bert, Moon Patrol, Street Fighter. We got a bunch of really cool stuff. So we have the arcade cabinets. We have a working dart board. Let me show you how that works. Pick up a nice dart, look over here, and throw it. There we go. That was terrible. We got a Game Boy over here, which is pretty cool. I can pick this bad boy up and I can play stuff. I can hold it in my hands and play it in my virtual hands. Then over here we have an SNES system. So I can grab a cartridge and yeah, I can just start playing. So here we go. I grab a controller, look up at the screen. It actually saved my progress. I haven't played this in a while, so don't judge me, peoples. Oh, I try to get cute there. So the next thing I'll show you, there's a Flappy Bird machine. That's really fucking weird. We got some awesome posters, including this awesome poster. So the other thing that I can explain to you is they have an arcade builder. So you can get your own ROMs and throw them in the cabinets, and you might not have the artwork, but you can just throw in any ROM that you want and play it in an arcade cabinet. So like Andrew was really bummed because he wanted to play Dig Dug because it's not in here, but I could get a Dig Dug ROM, throw it in the arcade builder. They actually have like a GUI for it, and fucking, you know, put together your own arcade. That's awesome. The only thing that I customized was putting a Shacknews poster in my arcade, but you can change all of these posters. They're all interchangeable. We got the old school basketball. It's actually really hard to play because you have to tilt your head in order to shoot. Nice. Scored. One of my favorite things about the arcade games themselves, actually, is that they're pretty realistic in the sense that, like, if I walk up to Pac-Man and I start playing, and when I press buttons, you could see them moving. Like, I can see what buttons I'm pressing. Watch see how when I move the joystick, it actually moves the joystick in the game, which is really cool. I'll spare you my rather poor Pac-Man skills. Paperboy. We got the Turtles cabinet, which is pretty cool. What do we got over here? Golden Axe, 1942, Space Invaders, The Simpsons, which is personally one of my favorite cabinets of all time. And then the final piece, which is the bowling alley. There is a bowling alley. I can come up here and grab a bowling ball, and let's see if I can throw a strike. Oh my god, that was terrible. Yes! Strike. Nice. Impressions. I think this is a beautifully rendered and awesome little world that they've created. Super detailed with a lot of little Easter eggs and a lot of little stuff to find. I think even the physics games, although they are a little wonky sometimes, are really fun. And the fact that you can customize your arcade and they have a builder that allows you to customize things is just fucking incredible. I think that's really cool. Couple of negatives. The control scheme is sometimes unwieldy. I have a controller, thankfully, so that helps me out because I do have an Xbox controller scheme. But if you are just using a keyboard, it is a little bit crazy to get used to. This game needs multiplayer. I need to be able to build my fucking arcade and put in my games that I want to put in, and have my friends come over and play alongside me or watch me, or, you know, or face each other. Imagine playing Street Fighter with your buddies, a little tournament action. That could be really fucking cool. Other than that, I think this is an awesome experience, and I can't wait to play more of it after this demo.
Damn, isn't technology great?
You know what's great? You're not screaming in my bloody ear anymore. Speaking of screaming in my ear, we have a new segment, Chatty Asks, where we reach out to our community for some questions that we would like to answer. From Mr. Goodwrench, the Goodwrench himself. What would you rather have, a bionic arm or a bionic leg?
I like my legs. I feel like it might be weird to be walking on one bionic leg and then one regular leg. I would go with the bionic arm so I could crush things and like expertly scratch myself. Right. Like if it was on my back, I wouldn't have to reach hard because it was bionic, so it would just be like...
I would go for the arm then as well. I would like that robotic power in my hand. Next question from Law Patrol. What are some of the most difficult parts of working in the gaming news business? Do you play video games all day?
That's absolutely it. It's telling people that I don't just play video games all day. Like we do play video games, but generally we actually do, like, if there's an office with a desk and I do work.
I do work for hours. For hours.
And this isn't just like showing off. Like, I know Asif's probably watching this, but we actually do work, and people just assume when you're like, oh, I'm in the video game industry, they're like, oh my god, your job is so easy. You're like,
video games all day, hanging out with your bros.
You know, I thought we were gonna make it through the first episode without you doing any accents.
You thought wrong. You thought wrong.
It's a great job. I love it. But everyone assumes that you do nothing, and that's not the case at all. Next question.
Next question from Hemtrol. When is the last time you used a cheat code in a game, and what was it?
This is a great question. I kind of wish we had Hemtrol recorded saying this, saying his question, because his voice is so smooth.
Ooh.
It's nice. It serenades me on Friday
I'm glad
nights.
you're flirting with Hemtrol right now in our first episode.
Hey,
call him.
Last time I used a cheat code. Last time I used a cheat code was I was playing Mega Man X, but you use those codes where you can like jump to certain parts of the game.
Right.
And Mega Man X has those, so you just punch them in. They give you those codes throughout the game so that you can save your progress, because there's really no save game state. But I just looked up one of those because I wanted to get to a particular boss and beat it, and I just like looked up a cheat code.
Right.
But beyond that, the definitely most recent time was Shovel Knight.
Oh, yeah?
Shovel Knight has like
A bunch of codes.
A million codes.
A bunch of cheat codes, yeah. The last time I used cheat code was a while ago. It was from the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King movie game.
Wow.
Which is actually a really good game.
Most of those games are actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was like, you press start, you hold down both the triggers, it was like XXBB, I think it was, and that would get you up to full health, and then you'd go into like a kind of like a super mode, like perfect mode, where you're just like knocking the shit out of all the Uruk-hai. It was great. Before we go, we have one more thing to share with you folks. In order to keep the theme of the old school Metroidvania-like games.
Metroidvania. Jeremy Parrish, I heard you coin that. Thanks for that.
Shout out to Jeremy. We have a new recipe for our series, 8-Bit Cuisine.
Hey folks, in this episode we will be making the pudding from the Castlevania series. Combine 1/3 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt in a medium saucepan and whisk until incorporated. While constantly whisking, slowly drizzle in 2 1/4 cup of milk until smooth. Then whisk in 3 large egg yolks. Place the saucepan over medium heat and cook, stirring often with a rubber whisk until the pudding begins to thicken and just starts to bubble, about 5 to 6 minutes. Reduce the heat to medium-low and stir constantly, scraping the bottom and sides of the pan until the pudding makes visible ribbons when drizzled over the surface. Remove from heat and stir in the 3 tablespoons of butter and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract until the butter is melted and completely incorporated. Immediately pour the pudding into ramekins or resealable containers. Lightly press a piece of plastic wrap on top of the pudding to prevent the skin from forming. Chill in the refrigerator until set, about 2 hours.
And that is a wrap on our pilot episode.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content like this.
And for all your gaming needs, be sure to head over to Shacknews.
Are you gonna finish every freaking video like that?
.com. Nope, it's ruined.
Right. This week we'll be getting a little nostalgic.
One more time, sorry. You're looking at exclusive.
Let's take it from the top. This week we'll be getting a little nostalgic.
Fuck, that's me now.
This is Shacknews Showcase Take 3.
Call that a clap.
I wanted to be gentle with it. Will you stop? You can't always just go hard. You gotta sometimes be gentle.